Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it. I should have trusted my gut. From the moment I stepped into my mother's house, I knew coming here was a mistake. The air smelled of expensive wine and roasted meat, a feast meant for people who barely tolerated my presence. Laughter filled the space, but none of it was for me. I had been invited to my mother's birthday party out of obligation, not desire. Elliot, you made it. My mother's voice carried a false warmth as she air-kissed my cheek. Chester wasn't sure if you'd bother showing up. Of course he wasn't. My stepfather, Chester, always had a way of making sure I felt like an outsider in my own family. I forced a smile, ignoring the condescension laced in her words. My uncle had convinced me to come, assuring me it would be different this time. But I already saw the signs. My mother's golden children, my step-siblings Hunter and Olivia, basked in attention while I remained on the fringes, a necessary but unwanted presence. And then I saw it, a name tag on the entry table, among the other neatly printed ones. Elliot, the loser. My chest tightened, but my face remained calm. My gaze flicked to Chester, leaning against the kitchen counter with a glass of whiskey, smirking. The bastard was watching me, waiting for a reaction. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. My hands trembled as I picked up the tag, reading it over as if I were amused by a joke only I understood. "What's wrong?" Olivia asked, stepping beside me. Her voice dripped with mock innocence. "Don't like your label?" I turned the tag over in my hands. Actually, it's pretty accurate, since I lost the chance to grow up in a normal family. Chester let out a low chuckle. "Relax, kid. It's just a joke." I slid the name tag into my pocket, meeting his gaze. "Then you won't mind if I return the favor." I could feel their eyes on me as I wove through the party, ignoring the champagne glasses clinking and the empty pleasantries exchanged. My mother had barely acknowledged my existence beyond greeting me at the door, too busy fawning over Hunter's new business venture and Olivia's recent promotion. The contrast was striking. While they were celebrated, my achievements were dismissed. My struggles, my successes, my very presence, it all paled in comparison to Chester's children. "You know, Elliot," my mother called as I passed by her, "it's great that you finally moved into your own place. Maybe now you'll start getting your life together." The condescension in her tone was like a slap. I could have told her that I'd been working as a programmer for a well-known company for months now, making $15,000 a month. I could have told her that I was far from the loser Chester made me out to be. But why bother? They had already decided who I was in their story. Instead, I just smiled. Maybe. The evening dragged on, and I let the resentment simmer beneath the surface, waiting for the perfect moment. I wasn't going to storm out like a child throwing a tantrum. No, I was going to make sure they never forgot this night. The room hummed with conversation, the soft clinking of silverware against fine china. My mother sat at the head of the long dining table, beaming as Chester raised his glass for a toast in her honor. "To my beautiful wife," he declared, his voice smooth, practiced. "The heart of this family. We are all here because of you, and we are all better because of you." A chorus of here followed, everyone lifting their glasses, everyone except me. She glanced at me then, her smile faltering just slightly before she forced it back into place. Maybe she thought I'd let it slide. Maybe she thought I'd swallow the insult like I always had. Not this time. I stood, picking up my own glass, the room quieting as eyes turned toward me. "I'd like to add something," I said, my voice steady. "A toast to my mother, the woman who taught me that love is conditional. That family is a privilege, not a birthright. That some sons are worth more than others." A ripple of uneasy laughter spread through the room. Chester leaned back in his chair, amused. Hunter and Olivia exchanged glances, enjoying the show. My mother's smile had vanished entirely. "Elliot," she said through clenched teeth, "this isn't the time. No, this is the perfect time." I let my gaze sweep the table. For years, I watched as Hunter and Olivia were celebrated while I was tolerated. I learned that my achievements were invisible unless they benefited someone else, that my struggles were inconvenient, that my successes weren't worth mentioning. Silence. I turned to Chester. "And you? You made sure I never forgot my place, right down to the name tag. That was a nice touch, by the way." A murmur ran through the guests. My mother stiffened, eyes darting to Chester, but he only chuckled. Come on, kid, it was a joke. Like it had been a joke when I was shoved into the background at every family event while her new husband and his kiddies took center stage. Like it had been a joke when she told me years ago that I needed to work harder if I ever wanted to be respected. I smiled, raising my glass higher. Then let's toast to the joke. To the last time you'll ever see me. Gasps echoed through the room. My mother's face went pale. Chester's smirk faded. I downed my drink, set the glass down with a sharp clink, and walked out. And for the first time in my life, I felt free. I walked toward the exit, feeling the weight lift from my shoulders with every step. The stunned silence behind me was the sweetest sound I had ever heard, but of course it didn't last. Elliot? My mother's voice cut through the air, sharp and urgent. I didn't stop. Don't you dare walk away from me, she snapped, heels clicking furiously as she rushed after me. You're being dramatic. I turned at the doorway, meeting her furious gaze. Dramatic? No, Mom. Dramatic is calling your own son a loser at your birthday party. I'm just done. Her face twisted, caught between anger and something that almost looked like panic. You're overreacting. Chester was joking. You're making a scene. I let out a cold laugh. A scene? You want to talk about a scene? Let's talk about how I spent my childhood as an afterthought in my own home. Let's talk about how you drained my college fund to pay for his kids' tuition. I gestured toward Hunter and Olivia, who had followed just far enough to watch the show unfold. Olivia averted her gaze, but Hunter smirked, as if amused. My mother bristled. I had to make difficult choices, Elliot. No, I cut in, voice steady. You made your choice, and tonight I made mine. Her lips parted like she wanted to argue, to reel me back in, but she hesitated. Maybe, for the first time, she realized I wasn't bluffing. Chester finally sauntered over, arms crossed. Go on then, kid. Walk out. Let's see how long you last without family. I met his smug look with a calm, knowing smile. I've been without a family for years. The only difference now is that I don't have to pretend anymore. I turned, stepping through the doorway and into the night. The air outside was crisp, fresh, free. I didn't bother looking back. Let them sit with the silence I left behind. I ignored the flood of missed calls and unread messages. My mother's first texts were predictable. We need to talk. Come back and be reasonable. But when I didn't respond, the tone changed. You're being selfish. You're still my son. As if that title had ever meant anything to her. Then came Chester's message. Good riddance. I chuckled, deleting it without a second thought. For the first time in my life, I felt weightless. I didn't owe them anything. No explanations, no apologies, nothing. I had spent years fighting for scraps of love and validation, and now I was done begging. A week later, I was sitting in my apartment when my uncle called. The only family member who had ever truly been on my side. You really did it, huh? His voice was filled with something between admiration and concern. I did. I decided to send my mother one final message. I transferred $100 to her account with a note. This is for you as a token of gratitude for giving birth to me. Now we're even, and I don't owe you anything more. Within minutes, my phone buzzed with an incoming call from her. I let it ring, then another and another. Finally, a text arrived. Elliot, this is cruel. After all I've done for you, is this how you repay me? I stared at the message, shaking my head. After all she had done for me, draining my college fund, treating me like an afterthought while Hunter and Olivia basked in her affection, allowing Chester to humiliate me at every opportunity. No, she didn't get to play the victim now. I replied with only 3 words, take care, Mom. Then I blocked her number. For the first time in years, I felt weightless, not lost, not abandoned, just free. And freedom, I realized, was worth more than any inheritance, any forced affection, or any approval I once craved. The loser they laughed at had finally walked away the real winner. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.